I was cycling in Vietnam and I was carrying a very expensive camera. And as I fell off, I shouted, my camera, worrying that it would get damaged. And one of my companions, instead of running to help me, picked up my camera and took this very unglamorous photograph. So we all fall down, we all make mistakes, we all have mishaps and mayhem. And it's important to know how we deal with it, how we bounce back from that challenge or that adversity. Hi, I'm Lois Wagner, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to bounce back, the A to Z on taking back control after a challenge, a life's challenge or an adversity. And I'm going to use my own personal story to share this with you. Nelson Mandela said, "Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by how many times I fall down and got back up again." I say, judge me by my grit and resilience and how many times I bounce back from adversity or disappointment. So looking at the A, the first thing is to accept adversity. Whatever it is that happened to you, you might have lost your job or was overlooked for promotion. Maybe your company went bankrupt, or you were retrenched or fired, or you were forced, as I was, into early retirement. Maybe it was something physical. You were abused or raped or attacked, and maybe you were hurt in some way. Maybe it had something to do with losing a loved one, of having a divorce, of being ill, of having a disability. Whatever it is that you face, it is important that you accept it, that you experience it, and that you live in the moment for a brief period of time. Do not stay there too long. It's important that you feel that pain, whatever that pain is, whatever that emotion is, anger, resentment, anxiety, whatever it is, feel it. Don't push it under the table. And what I suggest is that you rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is, oh, I can't take this, and 0 is, hey, this is okay. Rate it, and then slowly start looking for ways to downscale, to make the intensity less. And there are many tips that we can share later on how you can reduce the intensity of your emotion. So also in A is about having an adventure. Life is an adventure. Your career, your job, your project, your business is an adventure. And take certain risks to it. Here I am in Sweden on this big fat snowmobile racing down a frozen riverbed. And the guide points and he says, "Look, there's a moose." And I say, "Where?" Instead of just turning my head, I turned the whole bike and went up an embankment, and I'm on top of this embankment, and I'm in a forest, and the trees are coming at me, and I'm thinking I'm going to have an accident, and so I turned back and I rolled down the embankment. Fortunately, the snow was deep. The bike landed on top of me, and bike and human unharmed. I got back on the bike and I continued this incredible adventure. B is belief, believing in yourself, believing in your project, believing in your abilities. I was trekking in Bhutan and the locals were taking bets that I would not make it to the top. It was quite incredible. I was overweight. It was a really hot day. It's about 900 meters almost vertically up. And I believed that I could do it and I wanted to do it. And so I trekked all the way to achieve this amazing experience of Tiger's Nest. And there I am, having achieved because I believe. B is also about breathing. When you're faced with a challenge, when you're faced with adversity, deep in breaths and deeper out breaths. Calm yourself down with good breathing. C is about consequences, knowing what the consequences of your action are going to be. I applied for a job in marketing at Cadbury, and after a very unsatisfactory telephonic interview with somebody in HR, I was rejected. I refused to accept that. And so I prepared my CV and I went and hand delivered it to the marketing director. I got the job. And the consequences of that is that I ended up being responsible for launching the then most successful chocolate in the South African market. C is also about communicating. It's important that we communicate effectively so that people understand and we are understood. I was scuba diving in Cape Town, and my friend and I were not communicating terribly well, and we ran low on air. And when we surfaced, we had been washed out to sea, the weather had changed rather dramatically, and off we went into the shipping lane. That's me with the pink arm. And so what I did was I just held my arm up in this air, hoping that somebody would see us. Well, somebody did. A fishing trawler coming back from a couple of weeks at sea. The captain said, "Look, there's a boy in the water." And somebody said, "No, it's not a boy, it's a girl. Look, it's pink." And so they did a 90-degree turn. They came around. Like in the movies, they threw the safety rings overboard, hauled us up the side of this huge fishing trawler. It was very dramatic. I ended up kissing so many stinky, smelly, dirty fishermen. I was so relieved to have been rescued. Communication could have avoided that particular problem. Communication in diving, in work, in life is absolutely paramount. C is also about courage, having the courage to take that next step, to take that risk, to try something new, to do something new, to be something new. Here I am on Victoria Falls on the Zambian side. It's called Devil's Pool. The guide sitting there making sure I don't get washed over. Very exciting. Courage, go for it. And it's also creativity. We can't all be artists. These are trucks in Pakistan, beautifully decorated. We can't all have this skill, but we all have ideas, creative ideas. Look for the unusual, look for something special, and go for it. It's also about curiosity. Look for that unusual thing. Go explore, go and find new adventures. This is the living bridges in Cherrapunji in India, where they grow the roots of a tree across a river and they root on the other side and backwards and forwards until they actually create a bridge out of a tree that is alive. I went all the way to go and see that. It was an incredible experience. D is about dispute and debate. Don't just accept what comes your way. Look for a new narrative. I was attacked, raped, and left for dead. And I could have wallowed in self pity. Oh, woe is me, life is dreadful. But I changed that narrative and I said, what can I gain from this experience? What can I share? What can I do? What can I do to help other people? And so I went and I led marches through the streets of Cape Town. I lobbied, I had petitions, I visited judges and police commissioners, and I worked at getting changes. And as a result, I helped change the constitution in South Africa on how criminals are dealt with. E is energize. Energize yourself. Get active. Get active in your mind. Get active in your body. Get active in your spirit. Do something different. Get moving. Be active. It's so important that we keep our minds and bodies alive. E is also about emotional intelligence, how we understand ourselves and how we react and interact with other people, and how we understand other people and how they react and interact with us. Emotional intelligence leads to conversational intelligence, and it's about the co-creation and the connecting with other people. So important to build your EQ. And there's a wheel of emotions. There are hundreds of emotions. And in the first adversity, I spoke about lowering your intensity. The next step would be finding an alternative emotion. So if you're feeling rage or anger or something, look for joy and serenity. Look for something else, a little less stark and harsh. Let us follow through and take in action. I was trekking in Nepal. You can see how deep the snow was. The mist, the cloud came in. It was freezing cold. You can see I'm really battling there, bent double, really having a hard time. But I continued. I followed through. And as a result, got this amazing view of Mount Everest from 5,000 meters. That is awesome. Absolutely wonderful. The next thing is to forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive others. I did a lot of forgiving. I forgave a partner who betrayed me in my business, and I forgave the man who raped me. I went to the prison and I forgave him. It's important to understand that forgiveness is not about condoning what the person did or letting them off the hook. Forgiveness is about breaking the tie that binds you to that individual, to that perpetrator. It's about flying free for, in my case, from fear and fury and frustration. So forgiveness is a really freeing exercise. Grit. Grit is my drive, my passion, my perseverance, and my persistence. It keeps me interested and focused on my goals and my aspirations. We need to develop that grit so that we can focus on our future and achieve our future success. So, grit also has gratitude attached to it. And it has been scientifically proven if you wake up in the morning and demonstrate gratitude, you set yourself up for success for the rest of the day and things go well for you. Every morning, wake up, write down 3 things you're grateful for. You may be going through a really tough time. Hey, be grateful that you're alive. Be grateful that you had a good night's sleep. Find 3 areas of gratitude in your life. Have a sense of humor. I was in Iraq and I was exhausted. I'd been walking all day and this abaya is so hot and restrictive and I was so tired and uncomfortable. I saw this man with a trolley and I begged him to give me a ride. And here he is, he lost control riding down the road. I enjoyed it, I was laughing and you can see some of the people around who were laughing as well. Have a sense of humor. Things don't always go your way. If you can laugh at it and enjoy the moment, it'll take you a long way in overcoming your obstacles. Set an intention. What is your intention for the day, for the week, for the month, for your lifetime? If you have a clear intention, you can interpret that intention, create an affirmation, create a vision board, and then look at what the impact of that intention is going to have on you, on your life, and on the people around you. In conversational intelligence, we call it your third eye. Writing, keeping a journal of your frustrations, your successes, your goals is also a very beneficial thing. In cases of trauma, it's very therapeutic. I kept a journal from the day I was raped, and it really, really helped me overcome a lot of the problems that I would have faced if I had not had a journal. But keeping a journal of your daily successes, of your daily frustrations, it helps you focus on what needs to be done going forward. Kindness. Accept kindness, give kindness. It makes you a better person, it makes the people around you better, and you will find that help comes to you when you are having problems, when you've reached obstacles in your work, in your career, in your business. Kindness will help you get over that hurdle. And this is a picture of me in Iran. These complete strangers took me in, fed me, I slept in their house. Well, they offered me their house. I ended up sleeping outside on that majlis. It's a wonderful thing to share kindness, to connect with other people. And laughter. I spoke about humor. I speak a lot about humor and laughter and smiling. It's so important. This was in the Republic of Georgia. I'd been exploring these caves, and after I'd finished exploring the caves, I went to a street market to buy some fruit and vegetables. And everybody was so friendly and everyone was laughing and smiling. And I felt, oh, what wonderful people. This is magnificent. Until I got home and realized that my pants had ripped open at the back and my buttocks were sticking out. And everybody wasn't laughing with me, they were laughing at me. It was wonderful that I could laugh at myself and that I can share the story, which goes to vulnerability. It's also very, very important to learn from your mistakes. I worked for Cadbury. One of the products I worked on was the drinking range, drinking chocolate, drinking strawberry and cocoa. And one of the things a marketing person does is change the packaging to show their mark. And I was working on changing the packaging for the drinking chocolate and strawberry. And when I'd finished printing thousands of tins, somebody looked at the tin of chocolate and it had the strawberry ingredients printed on it. Huge mistake, cost us a lot of money. We had to print labels and overstick every tin. Had to pay labor to do that. So what was the lesson from that? Always check, double check. I don't make those kind of mistakes anymore. And give somebody else the opportunity to proofread or to go over your work, bounce your ideas off other people, share, because two minds are always better than one. Mindfulness. Be present. Be in the moment. We get so distracted, so much is happening. We're here, there, everywhere. We're doing this, we're doing that. And we don't focus on what we are experiencing right now. When you're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, take a breather and just focus on the sounds, the birds. Feel the wind, feel the sun. Listen to the background noises. Listen to your breathing. How does your body feel? Just be in the moment. I went to Sweden to see the Aurora Borealis, and a week before I got there, it was the best viewing they had ever had. When I got there, it was overcast, and that was the best I got. But I experienced it in the moment. I enjoyed the moment. Be mindful. Mojo. What is Mojo? I created this mind map to show all the things you can do to help develop your mojo. But what is mojo? According to Marshall Goldsmith, it's that positive spirit towards what we are doing now that starts from the inside and radiates to the outside. So the positive spirit, that is your joy and your energy. What you are doing right now, it's that mindfulness, being in the present. And it starts from the inside. It's how you see yourself. It's what you believe, how you look after yourself, that energy, your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul. And it radiates to the outside. So it's what you project and present to the world. It's what the world gets from you. In summary, mojo is your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul. And you radiating your purpose, your passion, your joy, your creativity, your energy, your magic, your positivity, your optimism, your confidence, and your enthusiasm, radiating it out to the rest of the world. N is about nurturing yourself, nurturing your family, your friends, your colleagues, and your business. This was my printing business. It was the first digital printing company in Cape Town, and I nurtured it. We were the only color printer in the city, and so I developed client relationships with designers, advertisers, architects, anybody who needed color prints. And I nurtured and developed those relationships. And it's so important. The business was doing so incredibly well until I was betrayed by my partner and lost the business and went bankrupt. The nurturing, though, it left me with friends that are still with me today. Organize. We all know about time management. We all say yes, 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 but do we do it? Do we manage our time. We get overwhelmed. There's so much to do, especially if you're running our own business. We're responsible for so many areas and tasks, and we can lose ourselves if we are not managed. It's important that you organize yourself. Look for patterns in your life. You might have seen my patterns: washed out to sea, falling off bicycles, getting attacked. There's some more. I was in Zambia. That zebra there kicked me. I was in a balloon trip in Cappadocia in Turkey. Everybody landed safely. Not my balloon. We had a crash landing. But look for those patterns, good and bad, and look for what they are trying to tell you. What is the message that those patterns are giving you? What must you change, and what should you continue doing? In my case, all these patterns of adversity has given me a platform to share my story. So look for what lesson or what you can use your patterns for. Questioning. Question. To ask questions for which you have no answer are so important. We call it double clicking in conversational intelligence. When you're Googling and you're looking at the computer, you double click to get more information. Click, click, you go down the rabbit hole, you find so much information, you can get lost. But asking questions for which you have no answer give you answers which you didn't realize were there. It gives you new insights, new ideas, new direction. Dog sledding in Sweden.
Okay, I can't stand up.
I have the sled.
I can't stand up.
Okay. I can help you. I'm just gonna fix this first.
Dog sleds have these very narrow slats that you stand on, and there's a leather pad in between, which is your brake. And as we were going across this frozen lake, the snow was gathering on my brake because I'm quite heavy. I was pushing into the snow. So I lifted a foot to scrape some of the snow off and lost my balance. And the dogs are runners. So if you fall off, they just run. So I had to grab hold of this dog sled and stop the dogs from running until the guard came back and threw the anchor down. That managed to stop the dogs. Well, I didn't want to carry on. I was scared and I didn't want to. I didn't have the grit and the resilience at that moment. They radioed back to ask for help. There were no more dogs. There was nobody there to come and help me. So I had a choice: walk back or get back on. And so I got back on. I had no choice. And maybe that's part of where grit and resilience comes from. You have no choice, and so you just do it. And I got back on, and I'm so grateful. We talk about gratefulness. I was so grateful that I did get back on. So resilience is my optimism. It's what gets me back up. It's working with renewed energy and greater strength and determination after facing a difficult challenge. I got back up. So pick yourself up, learn from your mistake, forgive yourself, laugh, carry on with new, renewed determination and vigor. And I'm so grateful I did. I had the most wonderful experience going through the snow-covered forests with these dogs laughing and yapping and pulling. It was a truly fantastic experience. We talk about reframe, refocus, and redirect. This is the agility. This is the ability to change when things are not working right. Here is a picture, and you can see it is framed. You see something, that is your situation as it is at the moment. Reframe it, look at it from a different angle, change the view, and you will see it differently. You will see different opportunities and different ideas will come forward. Once you've reframed, refocus on one of those new ideas. Refocus your attention and your energy and your abilities on a new direction. And then redirect. Create something new based on that refocus and redirect. Create that agility. Be flexible. Be ready to change when necessary. And smile. Keep smiling. Trust. T is for trust. If we don't have trust, we're never going to be totally successful. We need to develop trust with the people around us, and they need to have trust in us. So, how do we do that? We do it with truth telling. This is a conversational intelligence dashboard, and it really is very powerful. You build trust by co creating, by working together in a team with other people, telling the truth, sharing your successes, experimenting with each other. Understand where people are, question, understand, share. Listen to connect, ask those questions, and develop a strong relationship. Understanding is part of that. Understand where the other person or people are coming from. Understand their needs and their challenges. Understand their culture. I was in Iran, and it's a dry country, and you assume so much about a country. And I landed up having whiskey in this gentleman's home, and it just changed my whole perspective and understanding of the people. I've just been open. I've been open to that adventure, to being open to experiment, to take that risk, to step outside of your comfort zone. And vulnerability is part of that, the risk taking, being able to expose yourself to something new, to other people's ridicule, to other people's ideas, to other people's criticism. That's theirs. It's their issue. It's not your issue. Do what you feel is right for you. Be vulnerable. This was in Haiti. I went to a voodoo priest, and everyone said, don't go, it's so dangerous. And I went with an open mind. It was a very interesting and experience. He wanted to create some spells or charms for me, which I refused. You never know, it may just have an impact. I didn't want to take that much of a risk. But I was vulnerable to the experience, and I'm so glad I did. I learned so much more about cultures and rituals and people. And then your values. We all have values. We all have dozens of values, but pick the most important values and make sure that you live with those values. Make sure that your business reflects those values and your relationships. For me, one of my biggest values is connecting with other people, sharing and listening and co-creating with other people. And so it's so important for me. If I'm not having that connection, then I'm not living my values, and nothing around me is going to be successful. W, Wonder Woman. I believe we all have a hero inside of us. We are all capable of great things if we just allow ourselves, we let go, and we follow this A to Z that I've presented. Look for that superhero inside of you. I definitely believe I'm a Wonder Woman, having survived all of those adversities. In that first slide of all the adversities, I've experienced every one of those adversities. And so I do believe I am a Wonder Woman. And it's important that you find that inner hero and live that inner greatness. And going the extra mile, pushing yourself, doing more, going more, helping more people, doing more. They talk about working smarter, working harder. It's important that we do work smarter and harder and go that extra mile. I went the extra mile here, not by choice. I was parachuting in Cape Town, and they always let the heaviest person out first. So off I go was my third jump. The first two jumps, you've got a microphone and they're telling you what to pull, push, where to go, how to lean. On the third jump, you're on your own. So there I am, I'm floating through the air, and I'm thinking, oh dear, I'm going to land in that quarry. Nope, I'm going to land on that highway. Nope, I'm going to land in that farm. Nope. And I came to a forest, dense trees, and I had fears of me hanging in a tree. And there was an opening in the forest the size of my parachute. Something got me through that. And I landed exactly in that gap. It wasn't me, I didn't steer me there. And I landed very safely in this gap in the forest, gathered up my chute, started walking, came across a caravan. I knocked on the door. The woman inside got such a fright. Where did you come from? Over there. All's well that ended well, but I drifted 5 kilometers from the drop zone. I definitely went the extra mile. And yes, just do it. Go for it. Don't be afraid. Take that step. Take that risk. You're going to make mistakes. Learn from them. Pick yourself up and carry on. And finally, the Z, the zone, the comfort zone. If you don't step outside of your comfort zone, you're not going to grow. So where you're feeling safe in your comfort zone, stepping outside is a fearful place to go. And you don't want to go there, you're afraid, you might lack self-confidence. But as you step out of that fear zone, you start learning new things. Yes, you can always go back and get a breather, go back to your comfort zone for a while, come back out, go back into your learning zone, research, discover new things, explore, take those risks. And that will enable you to grow. It will help you live your aspirations, to find your true meaning and purpose in life, to conquer your objectives, and to achieve greatness. So thank you, everybody. That is the A to Z of bouncing back with grit and resilience. And I look forward to co-creating and working with you in the future. Have a wonderful, wonderful business life and personal life. Go well. Life free.